I had always dreamed of owning land. My whole life, I worked hard, saved every penny, and built something from nothing. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. My mom worked as a janitor at the local school, and my dad was a dock worker until illness forced him to quit. But I learned from them hard work, sacrifice, patience. And after 15 years as a commercial electrician in San Diego, I finally had enough saved up to make that dream come true. The ranch I found was perfect. An old, abandoned property in the middle of nowhere. No neighbors, no noise, no city rules. Just endless acres of dry grass, a dilapidated barn, and a house that had seen better days. It had been abandoned for over 30 years. I could see the potential in it, something no one else could. This place wasn't just a piece of land, it was my escape, my future, a place where I could finally live free. And I didn't care if everyone thought I was crazy for buying it. I saw it as an investment in my freedom. So, I took out all my savings to lost $750,000 and bought the ranch, paid cash. I spent another $330,000 fixing it up. A new septic tank, solar panels, a well, a greenhouse, livestock, everything I needed to start a new life. I even hand-carved a beautiful wooden archway over the front gate that read Green Valley Ranch, a symbol of everything I had worked for. I was proud of what I had built. I was building my dream. But what I didn't know, what no one told me, was that my dream was about to be hijacked. It all started when I started getting these flyers in the mail. They looked official, stamped with the logo of something called Cedar Grove HOA. At first, I didn't think much of it. I mean, my property was miles away from their gated community, right? No reason for me to be concerned. But the letters kept coming, and then, one Saturday afternoon, a man knocked on my door. His name was Dale, and he looked like someone you'd expect to see in a country club rather than on a ranch. He was wearing a sweater vest, carrying a map, and told me he was just checking to see if I'd registered yet. I laughed, thinking it was a joke. I'm not part of any HOA, I told him, trying to send him off. But he didn't laugh. Instead, he pulled out a map and pointed to my ranch. You're within the new expansion zone, he said, and that's when the hair on the back of my neck stood up. Didn't you get the notice? Not a chance, I said. I'm not joining your HOA. I bought this land as is. I checked the title. Dale just smiled coldly. Well, lawyers are good for that, aren't they? That's when I realized something was off. This wasn't a simple misunderstanding. These people were serious. Weeks went by with no word from them, and I thought maybe it was all just a bad joke. I was wrong. One morning, out of nowhere, there came a convoy of trucks. 6 men in bright yellow vests jumped out and started marching up my gravel path like they owned the place. The woman leading them was short, angry, and had sunglasses on, with a walkie-talkie clipped to her belt. She stormed up to me and told me I was trespassing on HOA-controlled land. She demanded I stop all work and report to their office for registration or else. She handed me a notice saying I owed $3,500 in fines and $750 in monthly dues. My heart sank. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Wait, what? I said, voice shaking. I own this ranch. It's abandoned. I have the deed. There's no HOA here. She sneered at me, almost mocking me. Not anymore. The board voted to expand. This property falls under our rules now. You should have done your homework. I couldn't believe it. I'd spent everything I had on this place, my entire life savings, and now they were telling me it wasn't even mine? Are you telling me I risked everything for a property that's not even mine? I asked, my voice thick with anger. She smiled again. You'll still live here, just under our rules. My blood was boiling. They were taking everything from me, my land, my freedom, my dream, and they were doing it with a smile on their faces. But that wasn't the worst of it. They started cutting down my wooden archway, the one I spent weeks carving by hand. The thing that symbolized everything I worked for. They tore it down like it was nothing. That's when I realized they weren't just here to enforce rules. They came to take over. But I wasn't backing down. I called a lawyer, Maria, a friend from San Diego who specialized in property law. She looked at my case and said, they're bluffing. They can't do this. The deed doesn't list an HOA covenant. And if they haven't finalized their expansion, then they have no authority to enforce anything on your land. Maria told me I had legal grounds to fight them, but it wouldn't be easy. I set up security cameras, reinforced my gate, and did everything I could to protect my property. But I didn't realize how far they were willing to go to force me to comply. One night, I heard a noise. It was faint at first, just the sound of boots crunching gravel. Buck, my old dog, was growling. I grabbed my flashlight, stepped outside, and saw two figures near the barn, creeping around in the dark. They weren't workers. These were trespassers. I yelled at them. "You're on private property. Get off." One of them bolted into the trees, but the other ran around the barn. I chased him, and when I found him, I saw something I'll never forget: a canister leaking something dangerous. It was industrial pesticide. The fire department came, and they told me it was highly flammable. If that thing had caught fire, my barn would have gone up in flames. I knew right then they weren't just trying to scare me. They were trying to destroy me. But I wasn't backing down. I filed a police report, and I started digging into the HOA's past. They'd done this to other people. They had a pattern. They used threats, bribes, and bullying to force people out of their land. But they didn't count on me fighting back. The next time they came, they didn't just send a couple of workers. They brought in a bulldozer, a man with a megaphone, and a legal team. They told me they were exercising emergency compliance measures and that they were going to tear down my greenhouse. That's when Eric, my cousin, stepped up. Eric wasn't just any guy. He was a former Army Ranger and contractor. He climbed onto that bulldozer, slammed the emergency shut-off switch, and told them, "If anyone takes another step, I'll consider it criminal destruction of property." The HOA's lawyer, Gregory, backed off. For the first time, they were scared. I knew this wasn't over, though. They kept pushing, kept trying to break me. They sent me fines for every little thing, canceled my deliveries, and even tried to poison my dog. But the more they pushed, the harder I pushed back. I went public with my story. I got the media involved. People from all over started reaching out to me. Others who had been bullied by HOAs. They all had stories to tell. I wasn't alone anymore. I had the power of the community behind me. Eventually, the zoning board had to hear our case. I showed them all the evidence: the bulldozer, the flare, the trespassing, the sabotage. The room went silent. I told them, this isn't just about land. This is about freedom, about standing up to bullies who think they can take everything from us. And when the vote came, I won. Cedar Grove's expansion was stopped. But even after that, they kept coming after me. A few weeks later, I got an anonymous note. "You may have won the battle, but the land war has only begun." So, I kept fighting. I organized town halls, helped other people contest HOA fines, and taught them how to stand up for their rights. I thought it was over, but then I found survey flags planted near my property. The fight wasn't done, but this time, I was ready. I wasn't going to let anyone take my land, my dream, or my peace. If you're out there, fighting for what's right, remember you're not alone. And if an HOA comes knocking on your door with fines or threats, don't back down. Stand up, fight back, and let them know you don't scare easy. So, what do you think? Should HOAs be able to bully landowners like this? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this.